All right, guys. So today we're going to try something new. We're going to talk about the stock market. And what we're going to talk about is what's driving the stock market. We're going to talk about a few stocks today that I am currently either invested in or looking at invested in that are related to AI. Investing in these AI focused companies is becoming a compelling strategy for me and everybody. If you look at the stock market, AI is clearly driving the market. We're going to dive into some of those top stocks that are poised for growth, innovation, and market leadership today. First off, we're going to be starting off with Microsoft. Um, I know you're probably thinking, what about Nvidia? What about Nvidia? I do own Nvidia. I just think it's a little bit overpriced right now. These are stocks that I'm interested in buying at this point. Microsoft, of course, huge investments into OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT. It has AI Copilot and integrated in laptops, PCs. They're strong financials and they consistently grow their dividend. So it's making it a great choice for not only growth, but income investors. All right, so here we're going to look at the chart of Microsoft. Let's change this to the daily chart. Here, let's look at that. This looks really good. I like this. So what I do like is the fact that it's forming these like higher lows here, right? It's riding that 200 AMA. Looks good. Looks good. So if it's bouncing off of this thing, really nice, but it is trading like in that little channel. If you look, this is the 50 and the 21 day EMA. It's actually trading in that little channel there right now. I'd like to see it bust through that. If it busts through that, I'll add. So if it busts through these positions here or these moving averages here, I'm going to add to it. If it busts below this 400 mark, I'm going to add to it. So Microsoft is, it's very, very diversified. So the fact that it does do a lot of business here in the United, if you're looking here, this is the revenue breakdown by region and segment. The intelligent cloud, 42% of it, 43% of its revenue. Productivity and business processes. This is that AI warehouse I was telling you about with Dell. Um, they're really streamlining these processes and making them so much more efficient, and it's really driving the Microsoft growth. It really is. The fact that they're getting a little bit more than 50% of the revenue from the United States is a good look. With the tariffs that are possibly coming with the new administration, I'd be a little concerned about anybody with relationship to China, which I'm sure Microsoft does have. But I don't really foresee that being a real headwind. I see the tailwinds just being so much more positive for Microsoft as a company. All right, we're going to move on to SoFi. The last 3 months, SoFi is up 105% in the last 3 months. That's it's got. I mean, I'm in down here at. I think my I think my average cost is roughly like something like $8 a share. As I said, it's well, I didn't say this yet, but SoFi is my largest position, and I've been adding. I haven't added in probably the last couple of weeks, but I know that I added in the 10 range here somewhere. So I'm steadily adding SoFi. The RSI super overbought. You're looking at everything. It's got tons of gaps to fill down. But if you look back here, it busted through this. And if you're looking, is it 16? So we're looking at about 16-ish as the next resistance. I like that. Um, I'll continue to add SoFi. I don't think I'm ever going to sell it. I mean, I might. I can't say I'm never going to sell it because, I mean, I am up a considerable amount right now. Uh, but I'll add on any dips on SoFi. Love the company. Marathon Digital. Let's get it. I think it's just Mara now. I think. Not sure. But um, let's talk about it a little bit. So, of course, everybody in here or if you don't, let's pretend that we don't for a second. So if you don't know, Bitcoin is exploding. Mara, Bitcoin mining company, nice, nice looking cup and handle-ish here. Yeah, I do. I like that cup and handle pattern, but but it's not quite breaking out yet. If you look at this, it had that little downtrend there. This is the 1 hour chart, by the way. So it had this little downtrend here that it popped out of, ran, kind of bounced off of this again, bounced off of these numbers up here again, and kind of just sitting here. If we can get through this weekend and Bitcoin bust through 100,000, this bad boy is going to open. This if Bitcoin gets through 100,000 this weekend, I know it's already at, what's it at? Currently 99,150. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Okay, let's take this away. Right, get out of here. 1 hour chart, Bitcoin. 99.8. We're almost there, guys. We're almost at 100,000. You buy Bitcoin. Personally, right now, who knows if it's too late, right? Do you know what Bitcoin is? I'm not 1,000,000% sure what Bitcoin is. I have an idea, like it has utility. Its utility for me has been a trading instrument, right? I've invested money, took out money, made money, lost money. I think for me right now, Bitcoin is that. Watching other YouTubers and people talk about Bitcoin, they think this thing is going to be around forever and maybe even outlive mankind. But I just like to trade it. And all the momentum is with Bitcoin. I mean, this right here, 1 month, what is it up in a month? 46% in a month. 3 months, 63% in 3 months. Bitcoin's running. When does it stop? Nobody knows. Could it bust through 100,000 while I'm talking to you? It could. Could it bust back down through 80,000 while I'm talking to you? It could. I've seen things like this happen before. But are we too late? Are you too late? I'm in Bitcoin. I'm not in at 100,000, so that would be a decision for you to make. But I definitely think Bitcoin is not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. But yeah, Bitcoin is just flying, bro. Like it's just riding this 21-day EMA, and it hadn't even touched the 21-day EMA in 3-4 days. So it could possibly pull back down here to the 96 range this weekend. Most likely it probably will at some point this weekend. If it does that, maybe you get in. I would think about that. If it hits this moving average, definitely load more. I can't remember who it was, but they said that you could expect to see a couple of flash crashes before the end of the year. If anybody's followed Bitcoin, you've probably seen those or been a part of those, maybe lost money in those, maybe made some money in those. But just looking at Bitcoin's chart, man, it's insane. It's over almost, a month ago, what were we at? Let's see. Literally, it's been a month. It hasn't even been a little over a month ago, and this thing was under 60,000. And now, it would really be cool if I was on camera while this thing busted through 100,000. But that's Bitcoin. I just wanted to give you an idea of what Bitcoin is doing. Let's talk a little bit about the bond market. So I've been messing around with TMF and TLT a little bit, trying to find this bottom. I'm not sure we're going to find it. If you don't know what this stock is, it's an ETF that tracks the 20-year treasury yield. Usually works inversely with interest rates. So as interest rates come down, this typically goes up. But if you look, interest rates are coming down, Mike. That's what they're saying. Interest rates are coming down. So if you look at this, the highest point of this, September 17th. If y'all remember that day, that's the day the first Fed interest rate cut. So in anticipation of this Fed interest rate cut, look, running up. They're going to cut rates. So what happened is this thing ran up in anticipation of Fed cutting the rates. Fed cut the rates. And what happens? The treasuries don't go down. They actually go back up, which in turn is causing TLT to go back down. So as the interest rates are kind of rising, this is going back down. Now, is it bottomed out? I'm not sure. Yeah, so if you got your mortgage back here, you probably paid like 9%. Is this the bottom? 78-ish? Maybe. Is this the bottom? 85-ish? Maybe. Is the bottom below that? If interest rates continue to rise, these tariffs don't work out, and all of a sudden inflation starts to go back up. And then what happens? Then the Fed, of course, has to raise rates again. These tariffs are kind of the big what if in this market. The bond market, I like buying it here. I really do. I'm an optimist, so I think interest rates are going to come down, but I'm not 100% sure of that. This is just one that I kind of got on my radar. I kind of been trading it. I don't like the fact that these EMAs are crossing over. Not a good sign. But albeit, I think this is an interesting entry point. Maybe just kind of buy, hold, see what happens, hope for the best. That's a great strategy, by the way. Buy, hold, see what happens, and hope for the best. Yeah, don't do that. Do some research. Figure out what you're doing. But yeah, I like the bond market right now. Kind of keep an eye on TLT if you want a little more volatility. You got the TMF here. That thing trades at 3 times. So remember that it trades at 3 times. So if the bond market moves 1%, the TMF is probably going to move 3%. Not necessarily, because the bond market's not going to move 1%. It's inversely related. It's going to move 3 times what TLT would do. Okay. So yeah, so if you've been watching Nvidia, I can't believe it's the worst performer in my portfolio today. It's been a while since I said that. So you're seeing it get higher lows here, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and it's trading in this channel. It's also bouncing off of this channel up here. So what we're looking at is this thing's stretched out there probably a few more days. Let's see how many days we got out here. So this channel will end January 13th. Inauguration, a week away. How interesting. What's going to happen in Washington? I don't think anybody knows. Not even anybody that works there. So, but I like Nvidia. I don't know how high this can go, but this is kind of like the AI king. Like there's nobody out there touching the growth that Nvidia is seeing. They're no longer just a gaming company. They're they're out here killing the game in these AI chips. These chips that are computing at the highest possible level, and Nvidia is just outpacing the whole market. Just nobody's comparing. AMD's getting close. Um, by the way, I'm kind of bullish on a few other semiconductor companies. Take a look at ARM. Not sure about it. I think it has some room to go back down. But Nvidia here, I think until it absolutely, like, what has to happen for Nvidia to shit the bed? They just reported earnings, um, beat earnings. I mean, they're just continuing. They beat earnings, but they're actually down since the earnings date. 35 billion in revenue in the quarter. That's nice. God, how do you not get in it at 7, Michael, in 2020, or even 10? Yeah, could have did that, but I did it. So here it is. You see it. I like it. I like the chart. I like the setup. I already own it. Ideally, ideally, like I said when I was talking about Microsoft, I'm probably not adding Nvidia here, but if you don't have any, I don't think it's a bad time to add. Um, Worst case scenario, it goes down, you buy more. Um, they're head and shoulders above everybody else in the AI chip market, and it's really not even that close. And they're just gonna. I think they're gonna continue to dominate. It's looking like Nvidia is here to stay, and they're not playing around. Partnerships out the wazoo, investing in other smaller AI companies. Love that. Absolutely love that. Thank you, Jensen Wang. Um, but looking forward to seeing what NVIDIA does in the future. Let's see what else. I want to talk about anything else or Ethereum. I bought some Snowflake a couple days ago before earnings also popped off.